Good evening. Good evening, boys and girls. Good evening, families. I'm Molly Dowgren, the principal here at Scales Elementary, and it's my honor to introduce our third grade class, and they're going to be presenting to you a production that's not been staged here at Scales Elementary, so we're very excited. Mrs. Manzer and the students and the teachers have been working very hard. So without further ado, they will be presenting to you American Voices, celebrating America from Armistice to the Moon. Thank you.
President Theodore Roosevelt, the 26th President of the United States and one of the most colorful voices of America.
Believe you can, and you're halfway there.
Before Theodore Roosevelt was president, he was a member of the 1st United States Volunteer Academy, known forever as the Rough Riders. Indeed, they were. By the time America was only 100 years old, it had already made its mark as one of the greatest nations in history of civilization.
They determined conservation and true kinship. Roosevelt became president at the start of a brand new century in the young nation, called the United States of America.
Do what you can with what you have where you are.
That wasn't the right one. That wasn't the right one.
I know.
We had 8,000 cars and 10 miles of paved roads. An average worker made $12.98 a week.
Theodore Roosevelt said,
"The government is us. We are the government, you and I."
Then he said,
"Far and away, the best prize life has to offer is the chance to work hard at work worth doing."
Finally he said,
I am only an average man, but by George, I work harder than the average man.
That was the character of 1901 America.
As the world turned into a new century, America was turning into a place where everybody wanted to be. Patriotism reached new highs in 1904, and the place to be was St. Louis, Missouri for the Louisiana Purchase Exposition, more commonly known as the World's Fair. The year is 1918 of the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. Extra, extra, read all about it. The war to end all wars is over. The country and the world were emerging from a rough era of war and epidemic. There was even talk about revenge against the countries that seemed to have caused the conflict. But President Woodrow Wilson said,
"Peace has to be a peace of reconciliation. A peace without victory, for a victor's peace will leave a sting, a resentment, a bitter memory upon which terms peace rested, not permanently, but always upon quicksand."
President Wilson said this about the League of Nations was born. President Wilson said this about America.
America is not anything if it consists each of us. It is only something if it consists all of us.
Altogether, America was ready to have some fun. So in the 1920s, it came in with the lion's roar and the dance that was the cat's meow.
Revolution begins. For the next 12 years, America and the rest of the Western industrialized world suffered what has come to be known as the Great Depression. The Dust Bowl, bank closures, a collapse in agriculture, and other problems plagued the nation, and times were hard.
America bent, but it did not break. President Franklin Roosevelt said,
I pledge myself to a new deal for the American people. Not everybody loved President Roosevelt's New Deal, but definitely people got a new feel of it in the 1930s.
So America rolled up its sleeves and got to work, finding happiness and satisfaction in the joy of upbeat song and dance.
Was supposed to be the war that ended all wars, but that was not the case. In the 1940s, World War II broke out, and American soldiers were back in the battlefields of Europe and Asia.
young women worked in factories to help support the war and as nurses on the war front. Young men were signing up in droves and being sent all over the world as defenders of freedom and liberty. Once again, families and friends were separated, and the loneliness of war took a toll on all Americans. Yet it was a promise for friends and family that helped people believe in brighter days and ahead.
Dear Mom and Pop, Dear Mom and Pop, it has been almost 11 months since I last saw you, but I look at your picture many times a day and night and read your letters over and over. This war in Europe rages on and on as it does in Asia, and it seems like every other part of the world. I cannot tell you where I am.
It's cold and wet and lonely as can be. I can't wait until this war is over. Mom and Pop, I'll be home real soon.